Welcome to Puff Drink Talk podcast. I'm Hilton Kill.
I'm Dylan Wilson.
Konrad Schubach.
Yeah, and I'm dying to smoke some cigars and talk about stuff.
I made a return. Last week I was not here, but I'm here today.
Yeah, how was the move?
Man, glad it's somewhat over with.
Yeah, good.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So this time you won't mention any backwoods or anything.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw your guys' honest reviews of it. Jeez, I thought I had friends around here. Come on.
Have you ever smoked arsenic?
Twice, okay? Yeah.
And you know what it's
Every
like.
cat, okay? Yeah.
That's what it was
How
like.
dare you.
Oh no. Yeah, so today we'll be talking about the conflicts that's going on in the world. We're going to be mentioning the viewing on baseball. It's a comment that we got on the channel, and so we're going to address that as well. And we're going to do our picks, our football picks. I think I'm getting better.
I think so too.
Thought we were. Our numbers last week were very bad.
Yeah, there's some bad games.
That was a tough week.
Which means I'm getting better because my numbers were pretty much the same. And just to explain the format of the podcast, we at the same time we're talking, we also do cigar reviews. So if you're interested in seeing the cigar reviews of the cigars that we're going to be smoking today, just wait a few days, and once that edit out, it's going to be on the channel. As a video itself, individual reviews. And if you don't care about our conversation, you can jump on the football picks on the timestamps on the video. Or if you don't want to watch the football picks, just tag along and see what we're going to be smoking and we're going to be talking about. As you're there, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.
Bing. So working from left to right, we have the Oliva Master Blends 3 for this cigar. It does have a very interesting blend. It's going to have a sun-grown Connecticut broadleaf wrapper with Nicaraguan binder and filler that is Habano seed and Ligero. So it's going to pack a little bit of a punch. Oily, it should be a little spicy. I think that'll be a good one. Hilton's going to be trying that out for us today. And then Konrad's going to have the Oliva Saison Maduro from the 2011 harvest. This is a Connecticut broadleaf Maduro wrapper with an Habano binder and Nicaraguan filler. So a little different. It's going to also have similar flavor profiles, but not the same blend. But two interesting cigars, both from Oliva. And then finally we have the Christoph aged Maduro, which has a Brazilian Maduro wrapper, Dominican binder, and the fillers both longleaf, Dominican and Nicaraguan. All of our cigars are from similar regions, and we're excited.
Yeah, we actually I went to this lounge just to get a cigar for a friend of mine that had gifted us with some lighting for the podcast. So, and then I was always there. The guy started talking about the Brazilian wrap on a cigar, and then he showed me that one. I was like, oh, now I have to buy one. So I got that one for Konrad for Dylan to try. So yeah, that's it should be an interesting cigar.
Have you smoked that one before, Hilton?
Matter of fact, yes, because I bought 3 of them.
Ah.
But I bought like a petite size. What was that size?
It's like Lancero or Pansdale.
Corona or something. I don't know.
Smaller than a Robusto.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
it's just a thinner cigar and maybe shorter. Yeah, it was just like to try it out.
Right.
So I was intrigued, so I'm gonna try it out and get one for the podcast. So
Well, don't ruin it for Dylan. Don't. Did you tell him if you liked it or not?
I did because I bought 2 of those and he smoked. So
ruin it for me. How did you like it? Is it good? Is it a good cigar?
Yeah, we already had it. One of his favorite cigars, both of ours, really, is the CAO Brasilia with the Brazilian wrapper. And so I think he was talking to the guy at the lounge, and he suggested this. So that's what kind of spurred the decision to buy it. And I thought it was good. It's not the same by any means as the Brasilia, but it does have some similar flavor profiles.
Interesting.
Last week, actually, I had a Padron, the 1964 anniversary series.
Yeah.
And that, especially the final third, reminded me a lot of the Brasilia, even though it had no Brazilian tobacco. So
Interesting.
it is. It's very interesting. So we'll see how it goes. But yes, I have technically had it before. Different size.
A different size.
Different ratio of the blend. You know?
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna bring you a different taste profile anyway.
Right.
Because every time if you change the thickness of the cigar, it changes the amount of filler tobacco that you have to put in. The wrapper is gonna be less. The binder is gonna be less. So the filler might need to accommodate for a little bit of the wrapper and the binder. So I don't know. I think it's gonna taste different. And because Dylan has a more
Advanced palate.
I was gonna say more finesse
Yeah.
in the palate than
Virgin
me.
mouth.
Yeah. So we'll talk about them, but yeah. We'll talk about the Brazilian cigar, Brazilian wrapper.
Yeah.
It would be better with somebody that has a little bit better understanding about the flavors.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Dylan's experience. He's
My
right
mouth
there.
is definitely virgin. So.
Yeah.
All right. Today I'm going to do a V-cut, so I'm feeling spicy.
What's the first impressions of cigars?
I like this one. This one has a little bit more of a stronger flavor profile than the other ones. That I like it. Except that damn wrapper, man. I'm not even doing anything, and it just keeps
unraveling.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little dry.
What about you, Dylan?
It reminds me of like my favorite coffee, dark and bold. It's my first impressions of this.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a very bold cigar, so
Bold in a good way or bold in a
very good way.
Yeah.
Good way. I like flavor profile.
Yeah, interesting.
Good. I'm glad we all got really
Well,
good cigars.
we are pairing with some beer, lager. So cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
All right. So what are we going to be addressing first, Konrad? We're going to be talking about the baseball.
No, I thought we would get all of the dramatic and really kind of not fun, depressing. We'll go with that word topic that's been happening right now: the Israel-Palestine conflict, war, massacre, however you want to describe it. Basically, the terrorist group Hamas in Palestine. How would you describe it? I wouldn't say invaded, but they secretly entered Israel and massacred random people, and then they kidnapped over 100 individuals, a lot of them older people to young people, and then they brought them back to Palestine and are holding them hostage. Israel right now is like, we've had enough of your guys' bullshit. We're just gonna destroy you. And that's what's happening right now, is that Israel is just on a war path, trying to find where these prisoners are and release them. There's a lot of back and forth going on as to which side are you? Are you pro-Israel? Are you pro-Palestine? Whose side are you on? And that's really dividing a lot of people's perspective in the United States and across the world, honestly. Because then again, Israel is predominantly, I mean, I don't know the statistics of it, but Jewish Christian. And then Palestine is predominantly, if not all, Muslim. So ends up at the end of the day kind of being a tribal thing of which team are you, which religion are you. So then you have to side with that side of the conflict. And it's a very unfortunate situation on both sides.
So is there like a risk of these becoming like a larger, like getting all the countries, like bigger countries and more arsenal, more like army power?
Well, that's ultimately where it's starting to become an issue. And personal opinion aside, because what's happening now is the United States have already sent an aircraft carrier out there to the sea to kind of just be on standby and show in support of Israel.
Isn't that like our largest aircraft carrier?
Yeah. I think they're sending multiple aircraft carriers. One of our largest ones is going out there, plus some others. And then on the opposite side with the Palestine, Iran is a huge supporter of Hamas. Hamas is the terrorist group that carried out these atrocious acts. It's another one of those Middle Eastern conflicts. Again, Israel and Palestine and that whole area has been at war and at conflict for hundreds, if not thousands of years. That's why it's called the Holy Land, and I mean, this is just a nonstop
That area, it's always been such a crazy environment, for war, for warfare in general. Everything seems to be starting there somehow. And it's all down to these religious views, which is always complex. I mean, religion is always a complex subject anyways.
So yeah, I mean, that's what's happening right now. It's unfortunate, like I said, on both sides of the aisle, because nobody from Israel deserved to have that. Because I mean, there's videos circulating online of them taking older people. I think one of the oldest, or one of the very few Holocaust survivors alive, was kidnapped and taken away, and that's caught on video. There's videos of them taking whole families, like even babies, and holding them hostage right now. So it's just a really terrible situation that's going on, right now. And then Palestine has been blockaded and is one of the poorest countries in the world. Egypt has blocked them off on one side, and then of course Israel has blocked them off and have had conflict and contact with them. So it's a very complicated and weird situation that's evolving, and it's something that you hate to see every day, but it is something that just popped up and is ongoing right now.
Yeah. Well, what is the likelihood of things being resolved somehow?
That's a great question, Hilton. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, that area, like I said, this has been going on for thousands of years. Thousands of years. I mean, this is all that region has known. It's just war and conflict. You would hope for some type of peace where Hamas goes, hey, we messed up. We're giving back our prisoners. We want you to not. Israel is pissed. They're doing nothing but destroying that. They're bombing buildings left and right, and they're just going all out war.
I think it's called Gaza.
Yeah, the Gaza Strip. Yeah. Thank you, Hilton. So they're doing that. My personal opinion is, and then I'm putting it out there because military veteran, Marine Corps, went to Afghanistan. I've seen how the United States military operates. There is that military industrial complex. There is that ever evolving and ever going situation with the military in the United States. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many billions of dollars have we been given to Ukraine to fight off Russia? Now this conflict goes, we're sending aircraft carriers over there to show solidarity and support to Israel, in the conflict. How many billions of dollars every year do the United States give to human aid efforts to Palestine and other things? So we play good cop, bad cop to both situations. Well, and that's it. Is like there's people on on one side of the table that Palestine shouldn't do that, but then again, then you have others that have donated billions of dollars.
But it's not like Palestine. I think it's one group of one leadership, I should say. I don't know.
I mean, it is and it isn't.
Yeah.
You have the Hamas group is representing the people of Palestine.
Right.
Whether they want to be represented by Hamas or not, I couldn't speak on that, but they are representing all of Palestine.
That's what I was going to say. Did they vote? Was it voted in, or was it just inherited?
From what I've looked up today, it's just a long period of territorial issues. So Israel's country, and you got Palestine. Old Palestine's basically inside of it. As time's gone on, their territory has shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. But there's two sides to every story. There's really three sides that we always talk about. There's both sides, and then the truth somewhere in the middle that we never really get to. So it sounds like there's frustration from previous issues back in, like you mentioned, the blockade. I think was introduced in 2007 or something like that.
By Egypt, yeah.
And then Israel's blocked them off, the Gaza Strip specifically, and they felt, I don't know if they perceive that as oppression, whatever, but they've felt secluded in that regard. And so they've had all sorts of reasons to feel angry, and then it's been exacerbated over the past couple months. I think they claim that the Israeli government and military are raiding Palestinian churches and putting their people behind bars and singling them out and treating them unfairly. They don't have access to trades and goods because of the blockade, so they have all sorts of stuff that I think it's built up and built up and built up, and finally the Hamas leader just wanted to make a point about, we're people too, and I don't support his actions by any means, but I think it's just a bunch of frustration built up. So then they attack Israel. I feel bad for is the Palestinian kids and families have nothing to do with any of that.
Right.
And now you have Israel has shut off their supply of food, water. They've completely shut off that Gaza Strip now, where it was a blockade, but there was still some stuff that came in and out. I think they wouldn't let like computer, electronic stuff that could be built turn into weapons, and they had a good reason, according to them, of why they did what they did. Well, now everything's shut off, so those kids don't have access to food, don't have access to water, and they're like, how long can this go on before we're dead? We're gonna starve, or we're gonna have nothing to drink, and so it's continuing to get worse. So I don't know how it gets resolved necessarily unless somebody steps forward and, I don't know, condemns the actions of the other and finds everybody wants a peaceful resolution, but I just don't think that's always the case. So I don't know where it goes from here.
I think every time that something like that happens, is some countries like either Russia, Germany, or United States, they send troops out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They send troops out because they go like, hey, you either stop or things are going to get ugly.
Right.
And it's all about
just a show
off the power and the force.
Yeah.
And what happens is, it's a little bit more of that, build up of the frustration that they believe whatever they believe, that land is theirs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm also not supporting it, because I think violence is always the wrong answer. So, and they were the ones that took the first step on being violent.
Yes.
So they are the wrong ones.
Well,
right.
Again, that's the perception of the media that we've seen. I'm not saying what they did was right either, but I don't know that. They're claiming the action that Israel's taken against them over the course of the past 10, 15 years.
But not violence.
Well, not terroristic. But there could have potentially been something violent, but it's not terroristic. They didn't go set off bombs and do a terroristic attack to the Palestinians, but just sort of oppressing them in certain ways that they feel. I'm not over there. I've never been over there. I don't know the culture, but just from what I'm seeing, things like this don't happen from one event. It's been a culmination of feeling mistreated, and you have a group like Hamas forming. What is unfortunate of all of it is I think they were trying to claim that they're going to go about all of this differently than they have in the past. They don't want to be a terrorist group,
but they did terrorist actions.
That's exactly what they were saying before they did all of that, how they were going to do things different and go through different channels, and then ultimately that was just a terrible thing to do. Nobody could I don't know how you support that. There's just better ways to go about it, Not that I could tell you what the better way is, of course, but I don't think that killing innocent people is ever the right answer.
And hold them hostage.
It puts Israel in a tough position to kind of return fire, So.
Well, and that's it. It's a we're tired of your guys' bullshit type thing, because how many? There's always reports of Palestine shooting, sending rockets into Israel. Israel has one of the best air defense systems in the world.
It's called the Iron Dome.
The Iron Dome, where it's like they sense a rocket coming, and it's taken out instantly.
Yep.
And Israel has a very, very impressive weapons defense system against them, because it is such a small area with a ton of population. But that's another point, is that it's a continuous acts of like, hey, we're going to shoot rockets over to Israel. Yeah, it's not going to do anything. Oh, it's going to blow up a synagogue, it might kill a couple people here and there, and Israel might shoot something back. But it's a constant conflict that way. They're always throwing sticks and stones at each other. It never ends. And I think everyone's always been on edge with tensive, emotions and motives. And then this is just like I've seen some videos circulating online, and it is horrendous to see what they did. And it's like, if you saw that, and especially, for a fact Israel is blasting that out throughout all of their media and saying, look at what these sons of bitches did to our our family.
And to the world.
To the world too. And it's like, look at what has been perpetrated to our family.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And riling everyone up, and everyone's going like, yeah, you can't steal babies and put bombs on them. and kill them, you know. So yeah, it's tough. It's a very tough situation.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's thoughts and prayers. You hate to see it on either side. So
Well, and that's where I was going to lead with my question and my thought. You know, do you think America should get involved or show a presence, or how do they act? How do we act moving forward with this?
I'd have to look into a little bit more. I'm pretty sure as a nation, I don't think the United States recognizes Palestine as a country. Like if you look into it, I don't think we even recognize them.
There's always a lot of talk about, which countries
Acknowledge and recognize, and that's one of in the video I was watching earlier, out of the countries that do and don't recognize Palestine, whatever, we don't. If we don't recognize Palestine, then obviously we're going to get involved to support Israel.
Right.
Whether I think we should or not, I don't think I'm really even qualified to speak on. I mean, in my opinion, no, I don't really feel like we should get involved in lots of foreign affairs that we get involved in personally. That's really neither here nor there. It doesn't really affect my day-to-day life. What it affects is those people over there hurting. Yeah. I feel more for them than I care about how it's going to affect me and the way that we get involved and blah, blah, blah. But I do think it's silly. I think we get involved in a lot of stuff that we don't necessarily need to. But I know Israel always supports us as well, so it's kind of that back and forth thing.
I think for the economy in the U.S. ends up like dumping a lot of money on the economy because if you want it or not, a lot of the ammo that is necessary for situations like that.
Wars make money.
Yes, ends up dumping a lot of money into the economy, which right now actually is supposed to be a little problem, right? Because after the pandemic, with all that easy money flowing in, and now getting more money flying in, inflation could pick up even further, and interest rates it could go higher even further. So and making it a little bit more difficult for actually the middle class and the poor class to get into housing ownership.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit. I could safely say that it shouldn't get involved, but at the same time, if the only way is to get involved so that the conflict stops by showing up the force, and then yes, there is argument for any of the scenarios, right, that you can go about. They could go like, oh, let's not get involved because now, for once and for all, they will have to sort themselves out. But they've been doing it for like 3,000-4,000 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they haven't sorted themselves out yet.
Yeah.
So
don't expect it anytime soon. Yeah.
They will just exterminate them, one side of or the other. So that could be a complex thing. It's like two kids, brothers, fighting each other. The parent has to step up and say, hey, stop fighting.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the argument.
And I'm curious about our involvement too. Like I know we're over there, but is it one of those just a show of force, or are we actually going to do anything and get involved? Because it's like when I was a kid growing up, got two older sisters, we all would get rowdy when things happen. Parents come out and they grab a belt and they snap it, and that's kind of all we needed. It was a show of force, right? We're like, oh, okay, we'll stop.
Maybe sending that air carrier thing, it's a snap of the belt.
The U.S. snapping the belt saying, hey man, your app's about to get spanked. And so I don't know, but it's a balls call. So what happens when they say, okay, spank my ass then? Do we really have to get involved? I don't know. That's where this gets a little more interesting as time progresses.
See, and I think that's where my thought process goes, is I feel like the country, no matter how you divide it up, I feel like the world perceives Biden as an old man who is very senile is the word, and incompetent.
Inept, incompetent. Yeah.
I mean, and no matter how you divide it up, align it with your political views, is like Biden is not a strong president at all to show that physical force of like, nope, you guys, I'm the parent snapping the belt. They're going to be like, it's Biden, it's mommy. Yeah, it's grandma and grandpa are over here telling me to stop doing it. They're not going to do anything.
It's all bark, no bite.
Exactly. And I think, me personally, I think America needs to stop being the world police. We just need to let other countries figure their stuff out. Because I've been to Afghanistan.
Right.
Why was I there? That's always what I get as a question. Why were you in Afghanistan? And to this day, it's like to liberate the people from oppression and make sure they're not selling drugs to the world because the largest opium manufacturing is in Afghanistan, and control that. And then there's so many, I don't want to say conspiracy theories, but there's so many things that did happen out there that you start going like, America's involved in this and this, and you start seeing some things that you go, man, we're only out here for one thing, and that's money and controlling of situations.
All of these ends up generating a debt from the supported government to the supporting government.
Correct.
So it's a leverage that the U.S. will never let go.
Right.
Because that leverage, you do need it, because it's an economical leverage. And then if you need your products to be sold over there, well, you have to put taxes on somebody else's product, but not mine, because I gave you money, free of charge. Actually, I'm just asking for the payment right now.
No, well, and you know what it honestly is? It also comes down to, as tinfoil hats coming on, conspiracy theory, radars going off, research and development for these weapon manufacturing companies. How do you improve, make better weapons, and test them than by having a conflict? Russia, Ukraine, we'll give you all of this stuff. We'll give you billions of dollars now. Billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Hawaii, you guys all burned up. Like, sorry, we'll give you $700 to fix up, whatever. But, the rest of the world, hey, we'll send $10 billion to Ukraine. There's special interest groups, weapons manufacturer, government contractors that are selling these to the U.S. government that are like, hey, we've got this new weapon that we need to try it out. What better way to do it than, hey, this conflict? We'll start supporting, giving it to them. Let us know how it works.
Yeah, and there's probably something to that, We're always working on things that public doesn't really know. Wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Aliens.
We're gonna get into aliens very soon in our podcast.
Halloween, we have to get into ghosts. We have to get into aliens.
Yeah, we're gonna get into backwoods instead of premium cigars. Yeah, Dylan said that he's gonna have an appointment exactly the time that we record the podcast, right? Because you're saying that we're gonna smoke backwoods.
Hey, it's part of the scary season. Sometimes you gotta smoke a scary cigar.
In the Halloween season, I always stay out of the backwoods. A sketchy place to be. But now, if y'all smoke backwoods, I can smoke a Fuente cigarillo.
Okay, sounds fancy.
Man of refined taste and class. Okay. I don't want a backwoods.
Going back to what you're saying, I think there is a little bit of that, but again, only high up in the government would know, that kind of information, right?
I don't even think high up people know anymore. I think the government has gotten to be so big, and there's so many special interests. That was a good smoker. That I don't think that there is one person to know every single contract that gets signed and the dealings of it. Yeah, that's a whole other topic. But I don't think like the president knows about it.
It wouldn't be smart though if you had a bunch of stuff that we were doing to have everybody know about it.
Right.
You departmentalize everything. So these people know about this, these people know about this, these people don't know anything about these two things, but they know about this, and you have it all spread out. So nobody holds all of the knowledge of what's going on.
But how you put together on intelligence package? Because you gotta piece it all together in order to find out if you have the right information for something.
Like clearances, so it'd be like the top secret clearance. So there are people that might have access to all those files, but it's access to those files versus already aware of everything that's going on. So I'm sure there are a select few people in certain intelligence agencies, CIA, whatever, Pentagon, up high enough where they have access to some top secret stuff. But you look at people like ex-CIA that you hear on podcasts talking about it, even them, like they think they have top secret clearance, and then you get to something that you can't figure out is redacted. So I don't know the levels of it all. We know what they tell us. So.
I had a couple of those experiences in the military when I was out in Afghanistan, and it was crazy. It's crazy to see the kind of stuff that
Do they tell you that?
I can talk about it. Do you want me to tell the story?
Do they
Yeah.
do they let you talk about this kind of stuff, or they say that you cannot talk about things that you saw?
No. I can talk.
warfare.
Yeah, I can talk about those things. A lot of it's public knowledge. I mean,
It's not like classified.
yeah, it's not classified.
No NDAs.
No, not with these. No,
Before you say that, I'm getting a little bit of caramel on my cigar.
like a caramel macchiato.
No coffee,
Oh, okay.
just caramel, sweet caramel.
Sweet Caroline.
Bum, bum, bum.
So, anyways, the story I wanted to mention is when I was in Afghanistan. So, my job in the Marine Corps was a radio operator, field radio operator. The unit that I was attached to was a HIMARS unit. Dylan, you could probably look it up online, but HIMARS stands for High Mobility Artillery ARS, I'm not sure, system. High Mobility Artillery Rocket System. That's what it is. So it's basically an Army 5-ton truck that either has a 6-pod rocket launcher, yeah, we shot those things, or a 1-pod missile launcher. Truly advanced technology in these machines. I mean, you pinpoint and give a location, and that was my job. Was we would get TICs, troops in contact, or I mean, we would watch drone footage. I mean, that's another one of the things that I can mention too about drone footage. The United States has footage everywhere. They know what's happening in Israel and Palestine right now. I guarantee it. So anyway, so we would get these call for fire, call for action. They would come into the FDC, which is the fire control group, and we would tell the launcher they'd go out to the firing area. They'd raise their launcher on target, and then as soon as we got higher up with authorization, they would start firing. And I mean,
There's a lot of trust on that thing.
Not only is a lot of trust on that being completely accurate, but the rockets. So it shoots 6 rockets and 1 missile, and the rockets have a range of like over 100 miles, and then a missile can go over 300 miles. Like, it is a very, I forget the speeds of that, but they can cover those distances like in a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Like,
Wow.
they're being shot out so fast. On top of that, they have a delayed detonation. So if you shoot down a 5-story building and you want it to detonate on the 2nd floor,
You can time.
it can time it and feel it and then detonate when it reaches the 2nd. So
Cool.
they're very, very highly advanced systems. It was really interesting. Well, so one night I had duty that night. You have different various 12-hour shifts. You
yeah.
relieve the morning and the night.
What kind of duty?
How dare you? How dare you bring a dad joke into this story?
Oh my.
That's me. It's being too serious now. You know?
I got it. I know.
Today the podcast is being too serious.
Sorry. No, I got you.
So,
You should have said the Call of Duty.
Yeah, the Call of Duty.
It was right. It was right there. At
It
your
caught me
finger.
off guard. I'm in the story. I'm reliving this memory. Man.
I'm
Kinda
sorry.
duty was
it. No, it's
I'm
okay.
sorry. I didn't.
Let's start back from the top.
Redeem myself. I need to redeem myself. So anyways, it was I was on my night shift. Not a lot of things happened during the night. Some things did. We get a lot of terrorists planting EIDs.
Oh, God.
we would get video confirmation like, yep, they just put an EID in the ground. Take them out. They'd call us. We'd send the rockets out there. We'd get a lot of weapon caches. They'd find where the Taliban had been storing weapons. This is location. Go and destroy it type of things.
Okay.
Well, one night we had a call from the president to the base commander. The base commander called our unit commander and was like, this is coming from the president. I need you to load up both of because we had two trucks. Both of them need to go over to the airstrip in the next 10 minutes, and they need to get on this plane. And I forget what type of planes they are, but I mean, they're the big cargo planes where you can
Drive those straight into it.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're like, holy shit, this is coming from the president on down. So they go out there. We don't hear any contact from them. Like, we have to announce to everyone, all the different various bases in Afghanistan, like, we're down 2 launchers. So if you need support from us, you have to call Fob Eddy, which was a forward operating base. It's a small, basically camping forward operating base up north or Camp Dwyer in the south. They're going to cover, and then I was in Camp Leatherneck, which was in the middle. They were gone. They were out there. They were doing their thing for a couple hours, and they came back. And, of course, everyone's like,
What happened?
What happened? What was going on? They went up to the border of Afghanistan and Syria, if I remember right. So, and I don't know if you remember back in 2012, 2013, we were having issues with Syria and some of the other Middle Eastern countries out there too, where they were like, we're going to nuke the United States. They were making all of these threats, and Obama was like, okay, we'll see what you do. They were out there and they were targeting various different things. Nothing was ever said, but the airplane landed in the middle of the desert, had the trucks go out and then just sit and lock,
Set up shop,
and get ready. And when they came back, they were like, we were this close to going to war with Syria. And finally, they were out there for like a couple of hours. Nothing happened, and they finally got the call to like, okay, load everything back up, bring it back in.
Mm.
But
So they just wasted gasoline from the plane.
oh, Hilton. The
Nothing.
government, man, they just print money. For the military, they just print money no matter what. So yeah.
Gasoline.
I fuck with America.
Yeah.
It's an interesting story.
I'll tell more. I've got maybe we'll do like a military appreciation thing or something.
Yeah.
My fraternity brother Cameron, his dad was a helicopter pilot. He flew Black Hawks in Desert Storm, and in a sandstorm. I bring this up because at some point in the future, I'd like to have Cameron and my other fraternity brother Mike on. Their families have all been involved in the military.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of cool stories. But I believe there was some sort of sandstorm in the desert, and he got caught in it, and the helicopter went down, and he broke his back.
Jesus.
And he's got all kinds of incredible stories from that time period. Now he flies for American Airlines as a pilot, but a lot of good stories. So
I'd love to hear
I think
them.
it'd be a good podcast if we had everybody come on. We'd probably come on virtually. They live in the Dallas area.
Yeah.
Could all share military stories. I don't have anybody in my family that served, but I've always been fascinated with the military, and I love hearing stories about it.
I haven't anybody in my family who served.
I love America, so I love hearing stories of us shitting on everybody else.
Yeah, man. I've got plenty of those stories.
So let's hear some of those in a future podcast. That'd be awesome.
Konrad, going back to the warfare thing, you think that the U.S. shouldn't be interfering, right? I think, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I'm going to put my view on that.
Tell me.
I think we don't have enough information, so if, for some reason, the U.S. doesn't interfere, they might lose the leverage to another country that does. And that's, I think, is strategically what they'll be looking at. Because if, for some reason, U.S. is not going to touch that, and then the Russians send the army in there or whatever, and then they will be then the ones with the leverage.
Right.
And then they might get a little bit fortified by that economically, and then be of a bigger threat of the global economic. Although, having said that, what I'm saying is like Russia is already in a situation right now that they will not be able to do anything because they're already spending so much money with their own war.
I mean, to your point, it could be like a country like Syria or Iran that would step up and support Palestine with their efforts. You never know. Well, I mean, again, Syria, is predominantly Muslim. Same with what did I say? Iran and Syria. Yeah, they're all predominantly, Muslim countries. So they could step up and support Palestine, which is the exact opposite of what the United States has said that we support.
Yeah.
Israel. So, no, I get your point. I do get your point. I just would hate to see us get sucked into another conflict. Yeah. We got sucked into Afghanistan. I mean, that was 20 something years that we were over there in Afghanistan.
And what did we find? What did we get?
Taxpayers paying for everything, and then it goes straight back to not even the Afghani government. It went back to the terrorist group, the Taliban that was there.
But at least we discovered those weapons of mass destruction, right?
Oh, they're everywhere.
Right.
They're growing out of trees.
Yeah.
So
thank you, George Bush. We appreciate all of the time and resources spent there for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
That being said, I think from here we just
Talk about sports.
see where it goes, and again, thoughts and prayers for those people. It's a sensitive subject, but
It is. It's
we're on to the.
It's
it's
tough.
tough.
It's
It
very
is
tough.
It is tough.
And again, we are here.
Yeah.
We are kind of safe on a safe environment, right?
But we're also safe because of these actions of showing force and sending our military to these places to make sure terrorism is at bay or these type of acts is not carried out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think somebody in charge knows what they're doing. So it's above my pay grade. That being said, let's get into the world of sports.
Okay.
let's do it. Baseball.
All right. So we had a comment from Marco André, and he actually is a friend of mine. He's almost family. I mean, he's family, and he made a comment on the baseball,
Yes.
and so we're gonna try and answer that comment that he made. Baseball is the one that they throw like a stone, and then you hit it.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, you catch it sometimes too.
Okay. See.
Never heard of it.
America's
one
pastime.
day, one day we're gonna talk about racing, Formula One, and stuff. And that's I understand.
Hey, we have Circus of the America
Coming
Formula
up,
One racing,
Right in
yeah,
our own,
yeah.
our backyard.
right
Yeah.
here.
So one day we're gonna be talking about that
Yes,
because when
sir.
you're talking about football, my picks are from the logos. Baseball, I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, how do I make my picks in F1? Is it based on who they drive for, or am I going off haircuts?
No, the haircuts
That
and,
guy
and,
looks
and
suave.
clothing
Yeah.
styles.
That guy's suave, so I'm rooting for that guy. That's how we're gonna do it. I appreciate a good haircut. Let me tell you.
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, Formula One, you pick from the watches, the clothing, the hairstyle.
Okay.
So the question or the comment was, it was asking about the viewership of baseball. The specific quote comment was the decline in viewership.
Yes.
When in fact, sorry, Dylan, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I think he referred to it as he's asking if it's true
Right.
that there's a decline in the viewership of baseball, or is it just a rumor? I was unaware that this was a rumor or a topic at all. So
It has been. So recently, baseball viewership has been down. This last year was the first year that Major League Baseball, MLB, implemented the pitcher's clock. Normally when a pitcher, Hilton, I'll explain this to you. When a pitcher
Hold
goes...
on, you're gonna explain it to me,
Okay.
so I gotta pay attention.
Okay.
So, all right, let me put the camera on you.
Okay. So when a pitcher goes up to the mound, a mound is a round dirt hill, sets up, and then he throws the pitch.
Oh.
So he throws the ball.
You see, the pitcher is the guy that throws the ball.
Yes,
I thought it was the guy that catches the ball.
that's the catcher.
Catcher. Okay.
Yes.
they coined a really specific name for that one too.
Yeah, I was like, is pitcher
Yeah.
is somebody that catches the ball?
No,
Why
believe
not?
it or not, the pitcher actually pitches and the catcher catches.
Well, that's English knowledge.
Yeah,
So
there you
I
go.
didn't know what a
Now you know.
pitcher was.
I know. A pitcher could also be a large container.
Like a jar.
Yeah, like a pitcher of tea. So don't get confused.
A picture, also different spelling, is what you put up on the wall,
Yes.
like the Mona Lisa.
Oh, but then that would be a picture.
Yes.
Okay, but when you say it fast enough, it all sounds the same. Like, Jesus.
We're in the
Christ.
South, man.
Yeah. You have... Yeah,
All
your
right.
words have like 20 meanings.
Yeah, let's do a podcast one day on English and foreigners learning the language.
Or Americans that can't even speak it correctly still. So, but anyway, so the pitcher goes
pitchers
up.
throw the ball.
The pitcher throws the ball. In the past, there was no time limit, so a pitcher could go up to the mound, look around, throw a check ball at first base, because if a runner was about to steal a base, or he would have like an advantage where he could get away from the base.
It's called leading.
Leading.
So the guy goes to the center there.
Pitcher.
The guy in the center is the pitcher.
Yeah, the pitcher. So the pitcher goes to the center there.
Yes.
And then instead of just getting there and having a set amount of time and then he'll just throw the ball, he'll just like ling around and then try to somehow
because,
score a point without having to
baseball field
pitch.
is a diamond, right? And so he's in the center. So immediately to your 3 o'clock, your 9 o'clock, your 6 o'clock, you've got potentially people on base, right? And you can lead. So if this is a base, somebody can take a few steps. And there's rules. We don't have to get into all the rules, but he'll look around and he'll scan, like, oh, that guy is a little further from first base than you kind of make it look like you're going to throw a pitch, and he turns and he throws it to first base to get the guy out.
All right.
But
because
there was no
the
time.
guy has to be on the base if he's... Because if not, he can kind of rotate, and then it's called steal a base.
You can steal a base, so that's
Yes.
what leading is. So when the guy's going to pitch, you can get off of your bag, off the base, and lead a little bit, kind of like giving yourself a head start, with the caveat that the pitcher could turn around and throw you out. So if that happens, you got to run and dive back to the base and touch it before the ball gets over there.
Okay.
And that's common. It happens all the time. Guys lead every game. Pitcher scans it every game. The difference now Konrad's getting at is the time that the pitcher has to scan all of this, look at all of this before there was no time.
Okay.
So what has been implemented is a pitcher clock.
Yeah.
You have 25 seconds. The pitcher, as soon as they get done throwing the pitch and the action's done, they have 25 seconds. And if they exceed that 25 seconds, that next batter or that same batter gets a ball. If you have 4 balls, you get to walk to first base. And then if there's somebody on first base, they get to go to second. Everyone kind of goes around the diamond. So what had originally happened was you could have a pitcher on the mound looking around, okay, now I'm going to pitch. And it would drag on a baseball game for 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
It just extended to an ungodly amount where most people were like, I'm so bored of this. Now that they implemented this pitcher clock, you got 25 seconds. You better figure out, okay, are you going to do a fastball? Are you going to do a curveball? The pitcher has to think like, okay, I just did a fastball. Now I got to do a curveball. Am I going to do a changeup? What kind of pitch am I going to prepare? You're thinking about the pitcher's thinking about the next pitch. He's not even thinking about that guy on first. So base stealing has been up this last year because pitchers are so pressured on throwing that next pitch that people have been stealing bases like crazy. And then on top of that, another thing that has been showing up more and more is pitcher depth on teams. If it's always been a prevalent thing to have a ton of good pitchers on your team. If you have a team that have pitchers that just throw 100-mile-an-hour fastballs or are able to curve the ball and get people out, that's amazing. But the problem is a lot of times they would rest. They get up there and kind of rest and give their arm kind of time to recover before they throw out the next pitch. Now they only have 25 seconds. So arm fatigue really starts playing a factor. So you would normally get a good pitcher 6-7 innings before you would have your relief pitchers that would come in after. Now you're starting to see 4 or 5 innings that these pitchers are able to last because it's constantly, okay, next pitch. All right, come on back up. That long explanation.
I see how, although they're missing a point, because you mentioned in the past that cricket is one of the most viewed sports, televised sports, and that's because one game goes for 7 days.
Yes.
So instead of that, what they could do is just got like a dedicated channel and just run 24 hours, and the games, instead of 3 hours, they go a little bit longer.
You could, but I think it's the problem with
American
kids,
viewership.
the new generation is their attention span is so short that you don't want to watch a 2-hour-long podcast. You'll watch the minute segments of it. You'll watch the shorts. Yeah. Unless you just love that podcast, you're not going to watch it in its entirety. And that's similar to a baseball game. You invest your time, you get an hour in, you're like, it's moving so slowly that I don't even want to watch anymore because it's just dragging. So that little, what seems like a small implementation that they added to the game almost changed the game of baseball in a way. From what you're describing, is it's affecting pitchers' arm fatigue, the rate at which bases are being stolen. That's a huge change to the game of baseball that does make it a lot more exciting.
It makes it a lot more exciting. And to that point, now in the game is a lot faster. So I went to there's the Round Rock Express, which is a minor league or a farm team here in Round Rock, Texas, that feeds into the Texas Rangers. I went to a couple games this last year. All of them had lasted about 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is about the same time frame from a beginning to an end of an American football game.
Oh.
If you can compete with American football at that time length of keeping an attention span
Yeah.
of one game. On the normal, 3 hours. Now you've reduced it a good 30 to 45 minutes. That's a huge difference of continuous action.
There is another thing that changed as well, which is all of the sporting bets behind it. Because now, as you're mentioning, so the pitcher that was doing like 7 innings, what's the word? Innings.
Yeah.
Now I only be able to do 4, so it changes the stats on the player.
Yeah.
So the betting kind of becomes a little bit more difficult because you don't know if that player actually somehow get a little bit more prepared for the game. And then now he's going to be able to do 5 innings instead of 4, because before he was doing 7, but he was taking his time. Right. And now he's not taking his time anymore.
Right.
So I think that also contributes a little bit because people are going to be like more focused on that instead of just waiting for the result.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
And not saying those are the exact numbers, but there's 9 innings in baseball. So if you're used to a pitcher throwing 7, and then you have a relief come in for 2 innings, now it's 4. I mean, you still have more than half of the game. So now it's going to require pretty solid depth at the pitcher position on people that you can rely on. So I mean, I think that does make it a lot more interesting. And if you can keep people engaged and keep it exciting for that length of time, you won't have people switching away from the channel like you've had in the past. So that should be huge for baseball.
And it has been. So back to my original point and answering that question. Viewership this year for baseball has been up. As well as home attendance or game attendance. Game attendance has been up too as well.
Okay.
People going to the stadiums.
People are going to the stadiums. I will, for one, say firsthand account, I've been to, for the past couple of years now that we've lived here in the Austin area, I've been to baseball games, even in California, but here, the Round Rock Express. I'd go to games and I mean, maybe there was 100, 200 people in the stands. Like, just not a lot.
Yeah.
Recently, 500, 600, maybe even 1,000. Like, some of these nights are jam-packed, full of people. Kids, families are all out there, like, enjoying the baseball game. When I was there, I was into it. I'm going like, yes, get them out. And then it would switch to the next team. Oh, and the inning's over. Like, it was going by so much faster and so much quicker. It was a lot more enjoyable. So,
that's cool.
Based on those things, baseball now is, in my opinion, a funner sport to watch and be involved in because of this implementation of the pitcher clock.
That's pretty cool.
Andre is going to be here. He's coming to visit us in the end of this month. So you're going to meet him.
Cool.
So we can talk about baseball with him.
All right.
So
I'll
see if he smokes a cigar and then comes and participates in a podcast with us. It would be great.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Dell Diamond before? Have you been to
I have been to the Dell Diamond, and I watched I have a shirt actually of the team that I forgot the name already. You said it's Express. Because the guy threw a shirt and I picked up because there was only me in there. The real estate company that sold us their house, they're like doing like a free entry for every customer of that particular year. Uh-huh. So that was 2020. So we went to watch on the following year, I think 4th of July of 2021, something like that. And it wasn't, but it was kind of full, but it was 4th of July, so there was going to be fireworks afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
I moved to the Austin area in like 2005. And the company that my mom worked for was a sponsor for the Dell Diamond and the Round Rock Express. So a lot of the employees would get tickets to the games for them and their family who used to go. And we'd have the passes to like swim in the pool and do like the rock climbing wall, like all the special stuff. And back then, it used to always be packed. You'd have all the seats were full. And then in that big grass area outside the outfield, everybody would bring blankets and set up like little pallets and stuff out there to lay on, and like all of the outfield area was, I mean, it was always packed.
Yeah.
And then there has been a time where it's just lulled. There hasn't been a lot of traffic throughout there. So that's interesting. That's good for baseball.
It's great for baseball. It's a fun sport. It really is. And to that point, Dylan, I love baseball. I really do. My son is super into it. He loves his favorite position is third base. He's he's a hell of a player. Like, he's actually really good. But
every father says that.
Yeah, thanks, Hilton. Okay.
I believe
my son's special. I get it.
Me putting the joke over there again.
How dare you?
Fifth grade.
Fifth grade. But going to these minor league games as far, because I've been to professional baseball games, and it's obviously a lot more fun to watch the pros, the best of the best. You see their last name, you're like, oh, this, and this. But these minor league games and the involvement that they have with the fans and the specialty nights, especially here at the Round Rock Express, they'll do Star Wars night. Yeah. Everyone dresses up as a Star Wars character, and they even have special jerseys that the baseball teams will wear that are Star Wars themed. It's just a lot of cool involvement with the community, and I've been really enjoying it. I really like it so far.
Hot take. I think some of these minor league baseball teams are fun to watch. Have you seen on social media the Savannah Bananas? Oh, yeah. They're out of Savannah, Georgia, I believe. But they are the Bananas. And they have yellow outfits. Their jerseys and everything's all yellow. But they do, like, weird stuff that's kind of like...
Like trick baseball.
Yes, it's not traditional. You'll have, like... So on the home game, they'll play music. And the whole team out in the outfield, the pitcher, everybody, they're all like dancing and they like spin and they do stuff at the same time to kind of like distract you, and then they throw a pitch. But I just feel like being a fan locally, I would go weekly to those games if I could, because they seem like a great time, especially with your family.
One guy went up to bat and to hit the ball, but his bat was on fire because he had been hitting home runs.
Yes.
He lit it on fire, and it's just a giant stick of fire. He's just getting there. Like,
I just think that's awesome. Like, that's fun stuff that you don't see, they don't get to do in major league. So minor league, it's fun to get to see them do stuff like that. It'd be like you watch minor league basketball and they have the basketball on fire, and they're like, I mean, you don't see that in the professional league. So it's just fun to watch as a sports fan.
Banana sticks on fire.
5th grade mindset.
And,
okay.
And Dylan wanting to go and watch it.
I'd look at a banana on fire.
Banana on fire.
I'd like to see him bat with a banana on fire. It's not about the baseball. It's entertainment at that point. It's a cool thing.
Yeah.
I think so. All right. We are going to be doing the battle of the logos, because that's how I do my picks. It's based on the logos.
That's right. We are now, believe it or not, already 6 weeks into the season. Seems like just yesterday we were starting off the opening game. It's going by too fast.
Stop it.
I know.
It's like kids. They keep growing. Stop it, NFL.
Stop it. Last week was a
doozy.
Interesting slate of games. We all did poorly, but we broke even. So I believe we went 7 out of 14. So we got 7 right, 7 wrong. We broke even.
Yeah.
Batting 500.
Which means that my birds have been winning. If not, I would have scored less than you guys.
That's true.
Very true. Very unfortunate that some of these teams that you think are going to win don't. Fucking Dallas.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Let's just jump into this.
Okay, Chiefs for me.
Take the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs.
Take the Chiefs. Broncos are terrible.
We have the Baltimore Ravens at the Tennessee Titans. I'll take the Birds.
Going Titans.
There's a bird on screen.
On second thought,
okay,
I'll stick with the Birds.
Oh, man. All right.
All right. We have the Washington Commanders at the Atlanta Falcons.
Interesting.
Oh, not so easy for me.
No,
I love the name Commanders.
Yeah.
But they're up against a bird, so it's not really that easy.
Both have actually been playing good and then bad, so you don't know which good bad team will show up.
I'll go with the Birds.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with the Birds.
I'll take the Commies.
I'm gonna go Falcons. We're gonna do Birds.
Yeah, appreciate you.
We're gonna do Birds.
We have the Blondies versus the Furries. Cripple fight.
It's okay. Let me put that on the screen. I'm a Viking by blood, because I'm blonde and the Viking logo is a blonde guy. I'm not very blonde this week though. I'm more like Dylan's color over here. Look at that. Let's compare notes. Look at that.
Beautiful.
And actually, the three of us.
Yeah. What the hell?
Compare my color with yours.
When I was a kid, my hair was like so blonde it was almost white, and it's just naturally darkened over time.
Yeah.
That's normally my eyebrows.
I thought you were going to go with your butthole hairs, but I'm glad you went there.
I'm gonna go Tigers.
Those are still blonde. You're gonna go with the Tigers? Yeah, I'll take the Chicago Furries.
You see how I'm learning? I didn't say the Bears.
Yeah.
I said the Tigers.
Yeah. I was really confused.
Because it's...
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about the Bengals.
Oh, the Bengals are the Tigers. Oh, no. Hold on. On the second thought. I'm not learning then.
I don't know.
I'll go with the Bears. I'm going
to go Vikings.
Seattle Seahawks at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Konrad goes first.
Seahawks all the way.
Dylan.
Earn your stripes. Give me the Kellogg's.
Oh, my
Bengal.
God.
I'll take the Tigers.
See, I like to support birds, and I like to support friends. So, bird for me.
There we go, Hilton. Made the right choice.
The San Francisco 49ers at the Cleveland Browns.
Well,
I think it's going to be everyone around on the same thing, 49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't argue with that, right? Even me, but I think I only picked the Browns once, right?
And they lost. They let you down, so.
Yeah, I'll go for the Niners.
I'll take the 49ers. All right, the New Orleans Saints at the Houston Texans. This is one of 2 or 3 games, maybe. That's kind of a tough one for me. I'm going to take the Saints.
I'm going to go Texans.
I'm in Texas. I'm going to go Texans.
All right. We have the Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Land Rovers. I'll take the Colts.
Jaguars.
He's going far from us.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking the Land Rovers as well.
You noticed a trend on my picks?
Yeah.
I'm trying to...
He's trying to pull
No, I'm going to be...
a lead from us. I don't know.
I'm just trying to be the heel. You know, I'm going to
He's-
take some
he's
teams
too
that other
competitive.
people aren't expecting because the past few weeks I think I know and I don't know. So
Yeah.
why not have a little bit of fun with it? And, you know, we're all so close. It doesn't matter. I think the first week we almost all tied. Maybe one was one ahead. I think we all tied. The second week, maybe I had 3 more. This last week we tied again. So if I go down 3, we're still all around the
It's okay.
same. I'm not worried about it. Wouldn't be worried about either way. It's all for fun. We have the Carolina Panthers.
The Panthers are winning because they have 5.
They're 0-5.
They haven't won a game yet.
They're
Winless.
losing. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go Dolphins anyway. Fins up.
Fins up.
Fins up.
New England Patriots at the Las Vegas Raiders. I'll take the Raiders.
Is that on the Raiders? Is that like
That's the Scuderia thing that you're talking about.
okay? And is it a bird inside of that thing or?
No, it's like it's a raider.
It's
Somebody
a man.
that's gonna break into your house and steal all your shit. And
Oh, jeez.
It's supposed to be like pirate.
Okay.
Yeah.
it's more fun if you think of it as someone like breaking into your house, stealing all your shit. But yeah, it's a pirate.
I go with
And they're Vegas. So you
the both Vegas.
No. The Raiders are Las Vegas. So I think you've picked them the majority of the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Raiders.
All right, the Detroit Lions at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's actually a good game.
Yeah.
Just as a fan watching, this will be a good game to watch. I think I'm going to take Detroit.
Yeah, I'm going to go Detroit also.
I'm gonna go Canada.
Okay. They're not far away from Canada, so.
South Canada.
I've no idea who Detroit is.
Well, if
The
it
Lions.
helps, you notice the Lions.
The Lions?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Detroit then.
Yeah, they're closer to Canada by far. This team's in Florida, but they're coming off a bye week and it's a home game, so that might be an edge. I don't know. I still think Detroit just looks really good this year.
Yeah.
The Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, that's the Lakers again.
Yeah. I think I might take the bird over the Lakers here as a
I'm-
weird upset.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the bird. I'm the bird guy.
I'm going to single myself out and go with the Rams.
Birds against Los Angeles Lakers?
Yeah. Lakers are going to do it this year.
That's what LeBron said. Let's see. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at the New Jersey Jets. Not New York. Yeah, I'll take the birds.
Bird.
Our New York Giants at the Buffalo Bills. Give me the Beals.
Bills.
Bill, the logo is so much better.
Primetime game. If we're lucky, we'll have some dildos thrown out on the field this game. Be a lot of fun.
Let's hope so.
You keen on that? You know what that is?
No.
The fans up in Buffalo are just like really rowdy people, and they jump through tables and they just go crazy. But they have a thing where they throw dildos out onto the football field, and they call them Bildos because they're the Buffalo Bills. If we're lucky, we'll see a few Bildos on our national primetime game.
Way to
And
go,
then
America.
Monday night, Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, Cowboys. That's easy. You have to see, man. The Cowboys played so well last week. You have no idea.
We have an idea. I want to see what Dylan picks. I'm going to let Dylan go first.
He's going to spike the team.
If he doesn't, I'll be really disappointed.
Do you know what? He said that he wouldn't come to work, and he did. And I was like, I'm not expecting him in today, but he did come to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a really good employee. What can I say? Yeah. I'll take the Los Angeles Chargers to go fuck themselves because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Man, son of a biscuit.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers. Joking. I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
This would be the one week I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah.
You gotta say. On the other hand.
On the other hand, I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Okay. All right. Well, would that be a wrap?
I think that's a wrap.
A wrap.
Thank you very much for watching. Please, what should they do? They should
Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to see more.
Oh yeah.
Leave a comment on your interpretation of how the trout population has been affected by the NFL season so far. Curious to hear about it.
Or let us know what you think about the Israel-Palestine conflict, war, massacre, however you want to describe it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.